So stay on it, Wolverines. Play with pride. We are Woodland Hills.
Just a little intro to the season. I thought I might talk a little bit about the keys to a successful Wolverine season. First of all, we have to watch out for injuries, especially in games like these. We're playing 2 exhibition games, actually, this season. They're both against out-of-state teams. Secondly, the offensive line is pretty much inexperienced. The only returning starter is Frank Huck, who played center last year, number 67 for the Wolverines. And that's really going to be the key this season because, as I said earlier, we might have one of the best backfields in the Quad East. And they're going to have to open up those holes for those players such as Mike Campolo, Steve Benton, and Aaron Beatty. We also need consistency at quarterback. Last year we didn't have much of that because whenever Ron Suvak got injured, we started John Sander, and he was relatively inexperienced in starting out. We have to get some consistency in the quarterbacks. We have to get one quarterback that's going to start, and he's going to continue to start, and hopefully won't get injured. Also, Mike Campolo and Wayne the Train Anderson. That's going to be a big part of the season. They're both excellent running backs. Wayne Anderson, in fact, is probably one of the biggest running backs in Quad East. And Mike Campolo last year ran for 784 yards. Also a passing game. Traditionally been a team that's been going with running backs and so forth. And they haven't truly been a passing team. And in the Quad East this year, teams like Gateway going to switch to a more of a passing game. Traditionally, we have the running game. We're also going to have some variety. We're going to have to compete with the other trick offenses and defenses. Gateway, as I said earlier, is going to have the run-and-shoot offense this year. We don't know much about this, but we do know that you really have no idea whether you're going to pass or run. Starting out with something like 4 possible receivers and 2 running backs. Also, Wolverines have to have the ability to successfully execute conversions and extra points. Last year, that was a pretty big problem. In most games, it's considered to be very pivotal to the outcome of the games. And the Wolverines will certainly miss Carl Johnson in these first few games. We don't know exactly how long he'll be out, but he had really good hands last season, and he was pretty consistent. Earlier I was talking about the predictions, and whenever I said Gateway, and I said he was the best quarterback in the Quad East, Tony Scarpino, I think he's really underrated. He's got excellent deception. He can really motivate that offense, and I think that run-and-shoot offense will prove to be very successful this year because of Scarpino mainly. Also, they have players like Rod Bailey, Dave Levin, John Beach, Meacham Hill, and Ernie Jones. I think they're really going to shine this year. Scarpino is the most deceptive quarterback in the conference already, and whenever they start that run-and-shoot offense, as I said earlier, the offense is going to be really tough to understand what they're going to be doing. And I think the Wolverines are going to finish in second. I think they're going to have their problems this year early because they're going to start out with 2 games that are considered to be generally easier than the ones that they're going to be playing later on in the season. We're going to be starting out here with Ballou, and then we're going to go to Plum, and Plum is a relatively new team. They have a new coach this year, and I think they went 1-10 last season, but they won last night actually, and they should be improving this year. And I think what may happen is if the Wolverines get a little bit too overconfident, game 3 right off the bat is Penn Hills, then from there on it just gets tougher. And I think that the Wolverines can just keep up the momentum after that 3rd game, they'll be ready to go. 3rd, I think Norwin is going to do it. That's also a surprise to most people. Chris Palisak is a fine quarterback, and Mike Cole had a great season last year for the Knights. I think they'll finish 3rd because McKeesport's squad may find themselves in a little bit of trouble this year. They have a very small squad this year. Then I think Penn Hills is going to finish 4th. This is going to be the turnaround team of the year. Indians are really going to shine this year because they have some Division I linemen, and they're going to open up some holes for the backfield. Incidentally, they also have a pretty good backfield this year. Penn Hills was traditionally known as a team that hasn't really been successful as far as getting the plays together and the execution of the plays, but I think they're going to really pull it together this year. They have some fine players. I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage here because my other announcer hasn't arrived yet, but I think I'll go on to here and talk about the starting lineups. The Wolverines on offense, we have Bob Werschbell, number 74, playing left tackle. Jim Abraham, number 71, playing left guard. Frank Huck will be the center this year, the only returning starter from the offense. Right guard, Chris Urim, number 50. Andy Rensko, number 75, at right tackle. Tight end this year is going to be Nick Serafis because Dennis Perkins is injured. Ken Kuchar is going to be slot back, number 10. Brian Estosian, number 14, will also be playing slot. Kevin Hartsfeld, who really hasn't gotten much chance to play these last couple of years, but he has excellent hands. He's a fine ball player. Number 81, he's playing split end along with Willie Lowry. fullback number 49, Aaron Beatty, number 34, fullback Steve Benton, who we're really expecting some great things from this year, and of course number 35, Mike Campolo, who we didn't really acquire, but we got from Central this year for academic reasons. Quarterback number 43, Joe Samsa, and number 11, Rich Smith, will also be playing quarterback. And we'll get to the defense later on. Should be a fine game this afternoon.
A reminder to Woodland Hills.
The Wolverines will be coming out shortly, starting this game. Mike Haley, as I said earlier, is back with us.
Woodland Hills football really begins today with Wolverines 3, traditions of our own. And now, ladies and gentlemen, presenting the defensive lineup for the pride of Woodland Hills football, the 1989 Wolverines. At left defensive end, number 55, 6'3", 215-pound senior, Joe Webster. At left defensive tackle, number 91, 6'3", 260-pound senior, Don Sullivan. At right defensive tackle, number 94, 6'3", 290-pound senior, co-captain Terrell Green. At right defensive end, number 98, 6'2", 200-pound senior, co-captain Matt
You and me, Tom.
Steyer. At left outside linebacker, number 23, 6'1", 215-pound senior, Sam Parker. And number 40, 5'10", 180-pound senior, Mike Sechar.
Can't hear
At
me
left
talk.
inside linebacker, number 42, 5'8", 195-pound senior, Bob Brown. At right outside linebacker, number 39, 6'1", 190-pound senior, Dan Wilson. And right inside linebacker, number 61, 6'2", 221-pound senior, Buck Brown.
Buck Brown, who will be place kicking this year also for the Wolverines.
6'1", 168-pound senior, Bautista Manuel.
Matisse Manuel playing for his first season for the Wolverines here as a starter. Greg Williams also starting for the Wolverines for the first time. Joe Samsa will be playing quarterback and safety. Jim Davis, senior. Anastosian will be playing slot back this year.
Number 43, 5'10", 200-pound senior, Joe Samsa.
Should be looking for a good season this year, Mike. The team is definitely fired up for this game, as I'm sure the blue team is also, traveling from Washington, D.C. That's true. There are some of these players, for instance, Raheem Jones is 6'3", 338 pounds. He's going to be going up against people much smaller than he. Roy Holbrook, the quarterback of Ballou Knights, will be kicking off also. Wolverines will be receiving. Looks like Steve Benton and Mike Campola will be back to receive for the Wolverines. It's going to be really interesting to see how both of these do. We haven't seen any Mike Campola except for in the Central uniform, and Steve Benton's getting his first chance this year.
Number 35, Mike Campbell, back on the 10-yard line for the Wolverines.
Awaiting the kickoff of the 1989 Wolverines season. It's, of course, a preseason game. Next week will be with Plum. And here's the kickoff. It's a short kick going off to the sidelines. Going to go out of bounds at the Wolverine 38-yard line, but there's a flag on the play.
Wolverine 36-yard line, flag on the play.
To wait to see what this one is. I didn't notice any penalty on the play. Wolverines will definitely have good field position, and now they'll have even better because the penalty is against the looks like illegal motion.
Illegal procedure penalty on a kickoff against the Knights. A re-kick from their 35.
That's going to be it, but on most cases, especially in the offensive line, it's good. Sometimes it's better to sacrifice a little bit of that size if you can get the quickness jumping off the gun. And here comes Holbrook with the kick. It's a deep line drive, picked up by Campolo. He's running at the 20-yard line, the 25, 30, crosses the 35-yard line. He's going off to the side and knocked out of bounds at the 38-yard line of Woodland Hills. Definitely got the side. Definitely has the ability to run the ball, as we saw last year. 784 yards he carried the ball for. In the last game of the season, actually, it was a state championship against Cedar Cliff, I believe. He rushed for 116 yards in one game. Samsa, hands off. Fine run. Benton. He's playing JV for the Wolverines, and everyone has been talking about that he has the talent to run the ball, and the Wolverines just have flowing with talent in that backfield. Of course, with Blaine Anderson out, expected a little bit of deficiency back there, but from that run, that doesn't seem to prove it. Wolverines. Joe Samsa. Brought down at the 20.
45, Neil Hoover, fullback, flies over right guard.
We're at a little bit of a disadvantage here from our position in the press box. It's very difficult to pick out the numbers, especially this early in the season. Frank Huck playing center this year for the Wolverines. Wolverines in the I formation. Samsa back to Benton.
Tackle made by number 70, co-captain Raheem Jones. Going to be third and
Now into the game.
10 for the Wolverines. Ball on the Ballou 26-yard line.
Wolverines in the single slot. He's wide open.
Samson's pass intended in the right side for number 45, Neil Hoover, is incomplete. It'll be fourth down.
No, the Wolverines are going to go for it here. 4th and 10. Kevin Hartsfeld into the game. Split end. Steve Benton also playing split end. Campolo off. Sansa hit at the 25-yard line. The Wolverines opted to get them deep in their own territory rather than have to go for the field goal this early in the season. That's true. This Wolverine defense has been rated very highly. Holbrook hands off. Little pickup. Appears there's a flag on the far side of the field. It may just be something else. Holbrook inquiring as to what the flag may be. It's a legal procedure against Ballou Knights. Ball on the blue 14-yard line. First down. Wolverines in the 4-4 defense. Holbrook back to pass. Incomplete. First few plays, Blue's offense doesn't seem to set up quite as fast. It's true. Brooke hands off on the outside. Front by Wolverines. Jim Davis in there on the tackle, safety.
By number 23, Dan Parker, and number 98, Matt Sauer.
Matt Sauer on defensive end, in there on the tackle.
Third down.
Brooke looking back to pass. He has it. That should be a safety. And it is. Mistakes for this blue team early in the game. See the Wolverine band all fired up. Nothing with 8:43 left to go this first quarter. Another opportunity for the Wolverines, apparently, to get some more good field position. to excuse me, Mike, if I'm interrupting you. I'm not able to hear you, and we're having some difficulties. But this is a preseason game for us as well.
Yeah. Nice choose to put the free kick in play by way of a kickoff. Number 17, Roy Holbrook, will kick for Ballou.
Awaiting the kickoff. Here's the kick. High, deep, good kick. Campolo takes it across the 20, across the 25. Knocked out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Knocked out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. He's cutting those corners nicely in the early part of the game. Wolverine offense takes again, back in the I formation. It's off to Campolo again, across the 40, he has it. Jim Abraham is doing a fine job there.
Number 9 on the tackle, Emmanuel Watt. Campolo gets 10 yards for the Woodland Hills first down. The ball's right at midfield.
Samsa. Another hole. And Aaron Beatty takes it across the 40. This Wolverine offense just marching down the field on 2 consecutive series. Still waiting on first passing play for the game. Quarterback keeper around the side, knocked down at the 35-yard line.
Samson takes the ball out of Beatty's belly and rolls to his right on the option. Gets down inside the 25-yard line. Tackle made by number 42, Leonard Johnson. Second in the yard for the Wolverines.
Samson's proving that he can run that ball. Back to Campolo, cuts around the side. Gain of about 7.
Mike Campolo takes his way outside left tackle, gets down inside the 20-yard line for the Wolverine first down. Tackle made by Raheem Jones and Kevin McMillan.
Woodland Hills cheerleaders.
Right at midnight, 20-yard line.
Wolverines deep inside Ballou's territory once again. A little bit of motion in the backfield there. Now this play will be called back. Samsa kept the ball himself. He can certainly run the ball, but this play will be called back. Legal motion in the backfield. Samsa again holding on to the ball. Can't hear each other at all. Wolverines will be taking it in again. So far, every time they've run the ball, they haven't really been stuffed yet. Kevin Hartsfeld over on the wing. Samsa again holding on to the ball. The pitch back. Ryan Estoshan. Gain of a few. Estoshan this year getting a lot of playing time. He's punting, Sampson handing off to Beatty. Now we're on the replay here, handing off to Aaron Beatty. Not even touched. Excellent running. Wolverines will now attempt the extra point. Bob Brown, who also plays linebacker for the Wolverines on the defense. He's been talking to me here. Wolverines will kick off after the touchdown.
Test. Outside a 20-yard run by Aaron Beatty.
Number 75, Robert Washington. 295 pounds, 5'7", junior.
5 Moses Ware. Bob Brown will kick off for Wolverine.
Wolverines just marching down the field. This Ballou defense doesn't seem to be able to stop them.
Bob Brown prepares to kick off for the Wolverines. A nice kick by Bob.
Deep kick running off to the side. Number 4, Derek Bellamy, 6 foot, 170 pounds, brought down by 3 Wolverines.
21 Aaron McAbee and number 40 Mike Picard.
Michael Picard, this is his first year that he's played for the Wolverines. He was in on that tackle. It was a 46-yard kick by Bob Brown.
Return on the kickoff. Ballou will start first and 10 from about their own 18-yard line.
Ballou will try to get their offense going here, starting from their own 18-yard line, first and 10. Roy Holbrook. Some motion, can't tell who it was.
I think it's going to have offsides on Ballou.
Illegal procedure.
Legal procedure, excuse me.
Procedure penalty against the Knights. Set them back 5 yards.
The Knights appear to be very confused in this first quarter. They may put it together later in the game, but Ballou isn't really, doesn't seem that they've awakened yet. Wolverines now on a 4-3 defense. Pass incomplete.
Holbrook's pass intended to far flat to number 35, Anthony Moore, incomplete.
Number 35, Anthony Moore.
Dad Wilson on the coverage for the Wolverines. Second down.
Ballou unable to complete a pass. Holbrook back, looking for a receiver. He's in trouble, he's scrambling. Pass is deep, he has his man. Catch by number 25, Moses Ware. That is his right-hand man, apparently. Wide receiver, 6'2", 180-pound junior on the replay here.
And you'll see Holbrook drop back here for his 4th pass attempt. Scrambles a little bit in the backfield. A nice pass. And he catches his favorite receiver, Air Mo, as he's known to his friends, Moses Ware.
Knights getting the first down of the game. dropped in the backfield by number 66.
Excuse me, that was
Number
Jamal
55,
Webster.
excuse
Jamal
me.
Webster, number 55.
Number 55, Jamal Webster.
I think Ballou should go to their passing game now. Moses Ware is definitely a talented receiver, as indicated by that pass catch. We're still in the 4-3. Heavy penetration, but Holbrook manages to get the pass off. He looks injured, though. Roy Holbrook appears to have hurt his leg.
That was number 98, Matt Sauer, who put the pressure on Holbrook.
Matt Sauer is known as the hitman, and he can really blast a person.
Third down for Ballou on their own 29-yard
Said earlier, number 17, quarterback Roy Holbrook. That's going to be a major problem for the
And
Knights.
excuse me. And you see Roy marching off your screen now, hobbling. Appears to be an ankle or knee injury possible.
Very large quarterback, 6 foot 294 pounds. Still up on his feet.
I think it just might be some kind of muscle injury.
Mark Dozier in quarterback for Ballou.
Mark Dozier, 5 foot 11, 175 pound junior, is back to pass. He has his man open, number 8. Passes across the middle, but the pass is incomplete. Terrence Battle.
Number 8, Terrence Battle, incomplete. Coverage on the play, number 23, Dan Parker.
Holbrook's now walking off. He appears to be okay. Pacing across the sideline.
Fourth down for the Knights. The ball is on their own 29.
And that brings up a 4th down and 17 situation with 3 minutes and 24 left in the first quarter. The Wolverines are leading 9-0.
Knights and ball is bent deep for the Wolverines.
Benton, that big Wolverines. Here's the punt. Bouncer near midfield. The Wolverines are going to let it drop. Drops it around the 39-yard line of Woodland Hills.
Ware's punt rolls in just inside the Wolverine 40-yard line, where they will take over 1st and 10.
So once again, the Woodland Hills defense holds strong, and Ballou comes up short again on offense.
Still haven't really got a look at the Wolverines' passing game. Haven't had to resort to it yet. Some excellent running by Samsa, Campolo, and Benton early on. Samsa back, hands off to Benton. Brought down at around the 45-yard line.
Steve Benton out of his tailback spot, blasts his way over right guard out near the 45-yard line. And on a tackle, Raheem Jones, Herbert Hurst.
Raheem Jones in there on the tackle again.
And Chris Yorm helped open up that hole there.
Wolverine offensive line is certainly passing its initial test of the season. Wolverine staying in the I formation. Hands off to Benton, he finds another hole, and he's going off to the side. Brought down at the 33-yard line.
Number 34, Steve Benton, he breaks off a couple of tackles, gets down inside the Ballou 45-yard line. Only brought down by Joe Briscoe, Leonard Johnson. First down for the Wolverines, 1st and 10.
And this is the replay here.
3-yard line.
Benton takes it off the side, shakes off some tackles until he's finally brought down.
Benton is certainly a strong runner. Back to live action. Hands off to Aaron Beatty, cuts her on the side. Up to bring down, but he's eventually brought down to the 35-yard line.
So the offensive line definitely holding strong here, opening up these holes for 2 fine runners. Aaron Beatty, who just had the ball, and Chris Benton. And on your screen right now, we see number 86, Sabrina Wells, and she's the female player for Ballou.
Samsa keeps it across.
So Samsa runs the option to the left, decides to keep it, lowers his head and fires his way down near the 20-yard line. back to Steve Benson. Ball's a nice block by number 49, Aaron Beatty. Gets a couple inside the 20.
It's Woodland Hills being able to effectively march downfield in each set of downs here, using only their running game. There's 42 seconds left in the first quarter as Frank Huck goes over the ball.
Lowry, number 2, over on the slot. Pitch back, and he's tripped up.
Pitch back to Steve Benton. He slips as he tries to cut it. Goes down at the 20-yard line.
Steve Benton, that'll bring a 3rd and 9 situation.
There to cover it for the Knights, number 68.
Time ticking down here in the first quarter. Appears as if the quarter will expire.
Wolverines, ball on the Ballou 20-yard line. At the end of the first quarter, the score, Woodland Hills 7, Ballou Knights 0.
And that ends the first quarter right now. The Wolverines are leading 9-0.
All been Wolverines this first quarter.
The first quarter, Woodland Hills is 9, Ballou 0.
We'd like to apologize for the technical difficulties we've had early in this game, of course, with especially the audio. And we're going to work to correct those as best we can. And this is a preseason game for us as well.
Number 31, Monte Nicholson, and number 10, Ken Duchar have come into the game for Wolverines.
Back in the second quarter, Samsa handing off to Aaron Beatty. Gain of a few.
And a host of Ballou teammates brings him down, led by number 9, Emmanuel Lawton.
It's an injury on the play here. Looks like number 42, Leonard Johnson III.
Re-injured Ballou player. After attention, there are 2 cars that need to be moved immediately. One is a Buick, license number BOWNE. The owner's name is Nicholson. It's also a Cadillac owned by Leon Strong. Please move your vehicles immediately before they are
Number
towed.
42, Leonard Johnson. He appears to be badly hurt.
That's correct. That's correct.
Blue trainer's out looking at him. He's not moving at all. Another blue trainer heading out on the field.
A reminder, you can see a replay of this game on American Cablevision, Channel 33, tonight at 5 o'clock and Monday at 7 p.m. That's on American Cablevision, Channel 33. Also, the mini footballs that are being passed on by the Woodland
Hope we can
Hills
see what happened here on the replay.
located by Mary Jones Pizza of Turtle Creek. Mary Jones shop is located on Atlantic Street.
It's the replay. Keep your eye on number 42. Appears it was his leg. Just clipped off from the side.
In the third, for Ballou, is running off the field under his own power. He is limping a little bit.
Appears to be okay. That would be a real shame if we had any injuries for either team in a game such as this. Wolverine offense take position once again. They're playing flawless football so far. We haven't seen their passing game, but we imagined we would before the close of the game. Samsa flips to Benton. Benton cuts around the side at the 20-yard line, the 19, 15 to 10, breaks a few tackles, eventually goes out of bounds at around the 5-yard line. Excellent running.
Steve Benton did a fine job there, Barry, as he got down to the 10-yard line. We'll have a replay coming up here, and you'll see Chris Benton try to sidestep the sideline there.
Benton certainly proving himself in this initial game of the season.
Benton is a junior on the Woodland Hills offense.
Well, he's running now. It's going to be tough to work Wayne Anderson in there. Back to Benton again. Goes in for the score.
Benton followed his blockers in, just powered his way across for a 1-yard touchdown gain. The Wolverines go ahead early in this game.
This outsized Wolverine offensive line is certainly proving itself today.
And we have 11:15 left in the second quarter. As you see the instant replay there of Chris Benton's touchdown. Make the score Woodland Hills 15, Ballou Knights 0.
That's Steve Benton, Mike.
I'm sorry, Steve Benton. Excuse me there, Steve.
Joey Lafferty will be holding for Bob Brown. No good. Off to the right.
No good.
So it'll make it 15 to nothing.
15 seconds to go in the second quarter. Score Woodland Hills 15, Ballou Knights 0.
Barry, I was able to talk with Steve Benton last year and Aaron Beatty, and a lot of people were expecting good things out of both of those players, and that's hold true in this game. They've done an excellent job with the Woodland Hills running game.
I can remember since 6th grade, Steve Benton has always been running the football spectacular. It was a matter of time before he'd get his chance here, and he's certainly proving himself.
And I think the impressive thing we have to keep in mind is with the Woodland Hills backfield right now has Steve Benton and Aaron Beatty, and after injuries we'll have Wayne Anderson and Carl Johnson back, plus Mike Campolo. So we definitely have powerhouses in the backfield this year for the Woodland Hills Wolverines.
I listed earlier in the game when we were talking about the reasons why for the optimism of the Wolverines this year, and that's the primary reason. The Wolverines certainly have one of the best backfields, if not the best backfield, in the Quad East. High, deep kick to the 20-yard line, picked up, takes it across the top, finds a hole, brought down at around the 37-yard line.
And that was Moses Ware, number 25, Air Mo, having a nice run, received the ball at the 25.
Moses Ware catch the ball, and now we're seeing he can run with it too.
And Michael Picar was in on that stop. Michael proving himself as a Woodland Hills player this year as he acts in his first season here.
Number 17, Craig Williams will be covering Ware. Holbrook hands off around the side. Good blocking by number 27, who is unlisted on our roster.
And Daniel Parker and Jim Davis were in on that tackle.
That's Don Coates, it looks like. He's not on a roster. I found it on an addition.
Gain of 5 on the play, 2nd and 5 for the Knights. Ball at the Wolverine 43-yard line.
Holbrook handing off. No, fake. Nearly intercepted by number 39, Thad Wilson.
Holbrook's pass intended,
Good deception there by Holbrook, unable to complete the pass.
broken up by 39, Thad Wilson.
Thad Wilson playing right outside linebacker. Very, very quick.
Thad had a very big year last year also, much is expected of him this year.
Passing play. Holbrook back to pass under heavy pressure. Completed pass to number 82.
Stands in under a heavy rush, completes his pass on field.
Nathaniel Smith.
Number 82, Nathaniel Smith.
We have an instant replay coming up here.
41, Jim Davis, but it's enough for a first down for Ballou. First and 10 for the Knights. Ball in Woodland Hills territory as the Wolverine 43-yard
A nice
line.
pass there on that last play by the quarterback. And Nathaniel Smith was able to hold on to the ball as Jim Davis put a powerful hit on him. A good play by both players.
It's tough to catch those passes up the middle. Holbrook, hands off. Matt Sauer has him, and he is down. Matt Sauer, defensive end, is coming up on each play. He's really penetrating that blue offensive line.
And inside Wilson. Lost on the play back across the Wolverine 45.
As I said earlier in the game, I believe Matt Sauer this year will prove himself to be one of the best defensive ends in the conference, and I believe he's very underrated. The Knights in the I formation. Holbrook looks back to pass again. He has his man, number 4, Derek Bellamy, catches it, comes across the side, turned around, knocked over by number...
Holbrook's pass complete to Derek Bellamy. Hit by number 23, Dan Parker.
3 Dan Parker.
Also in on the tackle, number 61, Buck Brown.
Here's an instant replay coming up here.
Gain of 8 yards on the pass completion down to the Wolverine 38-yard line.
Holbrook finds number 4, Derek Bellamy, known as Goosey. Crosses the 40 here, where he's finally brought down by Daniel Parker, along with, Buck Brown, number 61. Buck will be seeing a lot of action this year also as a
Holbrook
linebacker.
after the pass, rolling, hit by number 17. That's Craig Williams.
By number 17, Craig Williams.
Causes him to drop the ball for an incompletion.
4th down.
It'll be
Moses
4th
Ware-
and 5.
Diving catch there, but he wasn't able to hold on to it as Craig Williams put the pressure on and brought him down.
Defense is certainly catching the men quickly.
That brings up a 4th down and 5 situation with 8:04 left in the second quarter. Wolverines are winning 15-0.
And it appears as if Ballou has called a timeout. They have. This is their first drive. They will punt and hope for good field position. Under pressure, being chased by number 30. Oh, nailed by number 39, Thad Wilson.
And as you watch this replay, you could feel the power Thad Wilson put into that hit. It was felt all the way up here into the press box. Ballou elected to keep the ball on a fake there. They brought it around the side. But as you'll see in the instant replay here, Thad Wilson comes in and puts on a powerful hit.
For all the midget football players, please report to the scoreboard info.
Powerful hit by Thad Wilson.
Rich Smith is in at quarterback. He's a senior. This is our first real good look at him this year, as he didn't play much last year. Handoff brought out to the 48-yard line of Ballou.
And that was Aaron Beatty, who was able to pick up about 11 yards to bring the ball over the 50-yard line.
We haven't seen Campolo on the backfield much today. We've seen him on the kickoff returns. Aaron Beatty's playing a fine game. Smith looks over the defense, which is playing the 4-3. Smith back to pass. A little bit short. For number...
Kevin Hartsfield, number 81, was Rich's target. It's been all Wolverines in this first half of play. They've achieved 10 first downs so far. They come up on a 2nd down and 10 situation now.
Smith over Frank Huck. Rolling out to the left. Passing over, a little bit short once again. Running to the opposite side from which he throws.
That was Willie Lowery, number 2, who was Rich's target.
Willie Lowery playing slot for the first time.
Third down.
And that brings up third down and 10 with 6:57 left in the second quarter of play. Woodland Hills 15, Ballou Knights 0. And that's the Woodland Hills marching band you hear, trying to get the crowd started.
Smith has attempted a few passes, come up a little bit short. Aaron Beatty sold in the backfield. Back to pass once again. This is the target once again.
That was number 9, Emmanuel Lawton, who almost picked off that pass.
Broken up by number 9, Emmanuel Lawton. Big fourth down for the Wolverines. Ball in the blue, 48-yard line.
It will be 4th and 10.
And we'll see Brian Estoshan come out to punt for the Woodland Hills Wolverines.
Brian Estoshan really came on strong last year with some unbelievably deep kicks.
Ryan Stoshan in the punt for the Wolverines.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Deep, high kick.
Okay, 15-yard line.
Dropped at the 15-yard line.
Number 9, Emmanuel Lawton fields the punt on
Emmanuel received that ball at the 15-yard line, was able to pick up about 2 or 3 yards on the play. So we'll see Ballou's offense come out, try to make something happen here with 6:40 left in the second quarter.
Deep in their own territory.
their own 18-yard
Appears we'll be able to see Holbrook pass a little bit more.
And as you see, number 17, Roy Holbrook, coming on, he's still limping a little bit.
Yeah, 3-yard return.
And that was a 3-yard return by Emmanuel Lawton.
Yeah.
The Knights trying to get back into this game here. The slot formation almost picked off. Holbrook missing his target. That was Thad Wilson.
Holbrook's pass intended for Ware. Incomplete. Coverage it on the play by Thad Wilson. Second down.
You have a picture of number 39 there, Thad Wilson. Pass which was short and bounced before Thad was able to intercept it.
The Knights have been running a multiple offense throughout most of this game. Draw play. Hit viciously. Thad Wilson once again.
Anthony Moore, the ball carrier, tried to turn upfield and is put down immediately by Thad Wilson. Loss of 2. Be third down.
Thad Wilson getting deep into the backfield several times.
Ball is on the Ballou 16-yard line, 3rd and 12.
Rolling out to the side under pressure from Matt Sauer. Incomplete pass interference by number 17, Craig Williams, or Bob Brown. Here's what the flag will be.
Flag on the play.
Should get the better field position if in fact that is the case.
And that will be a lucky break for Ballou.
Pass interference against the Wolverines.
It's either Craig Williams or Bob Brown on the play there, jumping the gun a little bit for the hit.
Yeah, that's interference. First down. 15 yards.
Should be a 15-yard penalty. That'll make a first down.
Pass interference penalty gives Ballou a first down at their own 32-yard line.
So the first major penalty against the Wolverines brings the ball up to the 32-yard line for Ballou with first down and 10.
Hands off. Dropped for after a gain of about 3 or 4.
And Matt Sauer and Jamal Webster in there, stopping him for very short yardage.
Ball carrier tries to cut upfield and is hammered down by Matt Sauer. Also in the tackle, Tyrell Green.
Matt Sauer having a fine game, as is the whole defense.
No gain. No gain.
No gain on the play, 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 for Ballou. Holbrook back to pass. Looking for number 25. Moses Ware throwing into double coverage consistently.
Craig Williams had good coverage there. We'll have an instant replay coming up of this. Holbrook drops back. Finds his man. Craig Williams right there, number 17 on him. That was number 25.
Wolverine
Moses
front
Ware.
four is not allowing Holbrook much time, as we see here under pressure, nearly intercepted by Craig Williams, a little bit too high, beyond everybody. I think the Wolverines realize that number 25, Moses Ware, is usually the receiver whom Holbrook chooses to throw to.
Moses Ware has been making has to jump for his passes, and Woodland Hills defense has been putting excellent coverage on him.
There's no doubt Holbrook's a fine passer, but I don't believe that he has experienced pressure such as this. Beautiful punt. Too deep for Campolo. Out of bounds at the Wolverine 20.
So that was Moses Ware, the man who's been making catches for Ballou. It's a beautiful kick way over Joe Sampson's head.
I haven't seen a punt that deep in any high school game I've ever seen.
First and 10 for Woodland Hills, ball on their own, 11-yard line.
So we have 4:33 left in the first half of play. The score is Woodland Hills 15, Ballou Knights 0. It's first down and 10 from Woodland Hills 11-yard line.
57-yard punt by Moses Ware. First and 10
Moses Ware had a 57-yard punt. Excellent punt by Moses Ware.
Aaron Beatty, hard to get down once again.
Aaron Beatty powering his way up the middle, refusing to go down, gets out across the 20-yard line.
So Aaron picked up about 9 to 10 yards on that play.
I venture to say that if Aaron Beatty and Wayne the Train Anderson were in the backfield,
Yeah.
that would be the biggest backfield that anyone's ever seen.
That was the replay you've seen there. Barry showing his power as a runner. So we go under 4 minutes in the first half.
This looks like a blitz from Ballou. Jumped the gun a little bit. That will be off. Any mental mistakes from either team, however, Ballou has had a few.
Encroachment penalty against Ballou, 5 yards. Will give Woodland Hills the first down. They're on 25-yard line.
First down for the Wolverines. We should get another look at Rich Smith passing. I think if he settles himself down a little bit, gets a few more in there, he'd start completing. Kevin Hartsfeld over on the wing. Flags on the play.
Flag on the play.
Appeared as if that would have been a quarterback keeper had it gone through.
The flag stops the clock with 3:36 left in the first half.
This time, illegal motion on the Wolverines.
Penalty against Woodland Hills. Moves the ball back to the 20-yard line. It'll be first and 15 for the Wolverines.
WTAE cameras here filming some footage for us. Rich Smith, back over center snap. Looks for a pass. He has Willie Lowry, but it's too far.
Willie Lowry did a good job of getting open on that play.
Much pressure from this very large Ballou defense.
And on your screen right now, you have a view of number 64, William Francis Jr.
Appears that this will be another running play. Keeps it himself, and he's brought down. Rich Smith brought down very hard. Fooled nobody on that play.
And that was number 67, Brian Bess.
No gain on that play.
And that's going to bring up a third down and 20 situation.
5 on the play, falls back in the Wolverine
Brian Estoshin now into the game.
Third and 20.
One would imagine this would be a passing play. Smith back deep to pass, running off to the side. Has Willie Lowry deep. Just before the 35-yard line, Willie Lowry had him open the whole way.
A nice play there by Rich Smith. We have an instant replay coming up. You'll see Rich roll left here. Some pressure coming from the side there, but he keeps his head. A nice pass. Lowry wide open. Tried to come back on the field, but he was tripped up. Great field position. Good play. Rich Smith to William Lowry.
I think Willie Lowry could have had it all the way had he not cut over. Fine pass, nevertheless. Aaron Beatty in the backfield.
A nice play there. Rich Smith keeps the ball. Gains about 8 yards on the play. So we saw Rich Smith come into the game early, had some trouble with a few passes, but now it seems like he's right into the game.
That's right, Mike. Rich Smith doesn't have the size John Sander does, but he certainly has the arm.
He completed a beautiful pass to number 2, William Lowry, and then kept the ball for a nice run, quarterback sneak.
It's the kind of passing the Wolverines are going to need. Throws off the gun, hits Lowry again, but he bobbles it, and that would be an incomplete pass.
Steve Benton, number 34 there, did a nice job blocking in the backfield to keep the rushers off of Rich Smith.
What we've seen of Smith, he's really able to see the field well, and he hasn't really had any problem as far as close calls on interceptions.
Right now we have 1:35 left in the first half of play. The score is Woodland Hills 15, Ballou Knights 0, second down and 10 situation.
High formation for the Wolverines. Fumble. That was number 10, Ken Kuchar. He's plays slot back, but he was playing tailback on that position.
Ken was able to recover his own fumble there, and I'm sure many of you have been reading about Ken over the summer in the paper. He's a Division I baseball player. He's a pitcher for the Woodland Hills team, and he has a fastball which averages in the 90s. So we'll be expecting a lot of good things from Ken Kuchar this year in baseball.
He was down in the ground, so that was not a fumble. The ground cannot cause a fumble, excuse me. Rich Smith.
And number 72, Darian Smith, and number 67, Brian Best, are in on that play to bring Rich down to the ground.
We'd like to note that this Ballou team, especially the defensive line, they're not slow, but the Wolverine offensive line is playing excellent today.
And Woodland Hills has called a timeout with 34 seconds left in the first half.
Offense once again. Benton going off to the side. We're having some trouble. Smith keeping the ball. Cuts around, gets to the 20-yard line. Nice cut. He could have gone out of bounds to 30, but he decided to cut and take it to the 20. Steve Benton was opened on this play, but Smith wasn't able to see him.
We have a replay coming up here. Rich Smith showed a lot of tenacity on that play. He was able to go out of bounds, but he elected to keep it. He cut there with a lot of Ballou players around him, able to take the ball down to about 20-yard line. 28 seconds left. Clock is running.
I think Ballou just has to make sure that they don't allow the Wolverines to obtain a turnover.
This is the replay here. Rich under pressure, cuts outside there. A nice run, but unfortunately it wasn't enough for the first down.
Smith has the ability to tuck that ball in there, put his head down, and go for the yards. Leonard Johnson III, number 42, is standing on crutches on the sideline. This does not appear to be a good situation.
And earlier in the game, he went down with some form of leg injury. He did run off the field under his own power, though, but you see him now on the screen moving around. It appears to be his ankle.
It's nothing worse than losing a player in an exhibition game. That would certainly adversely affect his team. It's Mark Dozier in at quarterback for the Ballou Knights. Back to pass. He has his man open. Number 8 is open. And he goes to him. Collision, 2 players. Number 43, Joe Samsa, who's playing safety now for the Wolverines.
Pass broken up by Craig Williams. Joe Samsa.
10 seconds left here in the first half.
Terrence Battle is very open on that play.
And Craig Williams, as he's been doing all half, putting on good pressure there, along with Joe Sampson, number 43.
2nd and 10 for the Knights. Ball on the
Joe
roll.
Samsa's back there at strong safety, replacing Jim Davis for the time being. Dozier sets up again for the pass. Unable to find anyone open. He has running room. Cuts across the side, across the 30-yard line. Dropped it around the 35-yard line. And that'll end the half. The Wolverines leading 15-0.
We have a replay coming up.
14-yard gain by Dozier at the half end. With the score, Woodland Hills 15.
See Dozier drop back here. He has a lot of time. Gets a big hole, elects to keep it. And he's finally brought down around the 35-yard line by Thad Wilson with a host of other Wolverines.
We invite you to stay tuned for the band's halftime show.
Okay, at the end of the first half of play, the score is Woodland Hills Wolverines 15, Ballou Knights from Washington, D.C. 0. 17 yards.
Samsa back in at quarterback in the second half. Back to Campolo, has the hole around the side, cuts around the 40-yard line, over on the side, and 35, 30, the 25, the 20. Central Catholic High School.
And early in the second half, only 10:47 to go in the third quarter. Michael Campolo, big run to score a touchdown to make the score 21-0 Woodland Hills. Instant replay here. Michael Campolo, number 35's big hole. Sidesteps around the tackle there, takes around the outside, and he's home free.
Sheer speed, Mike, that is sheer speed.
58-yard touchdown run.
Bob Brown attempting the extra point. Snap, little problem. Picked up. 48-yard touchdown, Mike Campolo.
And that takes Michael Campolo's stats into the 80 mark. He's carried the ball 4 times today for over 80 yards. And that set of downs for the Wolverines only took 2 plays. It covered 65 yards, and Michael Campolo ran the ball twice, and he scored the touchdown on a 48-yard run.
Another excellent drive, 21-0 Wolverines, 10:47 left to go. Mike, we also have to keep in mind, it's almost unbelievable, but the 2 starters that were supposed to be the starters are injured in the backfield. These are second stringers, mind you.
And right now, we have Steve Benton, Aaron Baby, and Michael Campolo all in the 80 mark, so they're rushing. So with 2 full quarters of play to go, I'm sure 3 of those players, all 3, or maybe one of them, will break the 100-yard mark for today's game.
I made a serious understatement when I said we'd have a pretty good backfield this season.
Nice kickoff by Bob Brown.
Touch, goes out of bounds, that'll be a touchback at the 20-yard line. Brown handling all the place kicking and also playing linebacker for the Wolverines.
On the screen there, you have number 25 and number 4, Derek Bellamy, nicknamed Goosey, and number 25, Moses Ware. And that was a 60-yard kick by Bob Brown. And Ballou will have time is 10:45 in the third quarter, and they'll start from their own 20-yard line. First down and 10.
Holbrook is back in there. Wolverines in the 4-3 defense again. Good deception by Ballou there for a gain of about 3. Holbrook has fine hands. Crowd, a little uproar from the crowd. Positive note as number 86, Sabrina Wells, comes in. The crowd is really cheering now. 5 foot, 180-pound junior. 190 pounds, excuse me. Now she's being called back, and the players are, the fans are screaming, now they're coming back up again.
The crowd is really giving a positive response there. We want to welcome number 86, Sabrina Wells. She goes up against number 55, Jamal Webster.
Fired up. Holbrook flips over on the side. Little or no gain.
And the big action on that play was the big man for Woodland Hills, number 55, Jamal Webster. And Sabrina Wells was able to take a hit from him. And then Jamal and Terrell Green went in for the stop on that play. And now number 86, as you see in your picture, Sabrina Wells leads the game.
Fans cheering her, she goes off. She's a right player just like anyone else. Just as much right to play as anyone else. Ball was tipped. Looks like this might be a late hit. penalty on the Wolverines, it appears.
And Barry, seeing Sabrina Wells makes me think about the Powder Puffs, the Pittsburgh team that was composed of all girls. But I'm sure for many people, and I know for myself, this is the first time I've ever seen a girl play against a all-boys football team.
It's a first for me, Mike. Times have certainly changed. Both men and women were cheering her as she came off and onto the field.
The ball was marched upfield there as the Wolverines had a penalty for roughing the passer. In the first half, the penalties were Woodland Hills had 3 penalties for 25 yards, while Ballou had 4 for 20 yards. So in the first half, penalties are pretty even.
Ballou in the double slot formation. Pass by Dozier. Hit hard by number...
That was Craig Williams. That was Moses Ware, the favorite wide receiver for the Ballou Knights. Going in the air, as his nickname is, Air Mo. Goes up for the ball, but wasn't able to hold on to it, as Craig Williams, as he's doing a fine job all day, putting good pressure on the offense of Ballou.
Defensive backfield for the Wolverines, playing spectacular ball this afternoon. Mark Dozier in the quarterback. They run into each other. The ball is loose, and it looks as if the Wolverines have it. Poor execution on that play right there. A little bit of a mix-up. Wolverines recover the ball. Bad news for the Ballou Knights as they march up the field.
Unfortunate there for Ballou. Number 3, Mark Dozier, and number 35...
Anthony Moore. He's not on the roster also.
They ran right into each other in the backfield. The ball came loose. And I believe number 91 for the Wolverines, Donald Sullivan, the big man for the offensive line, was able to recover.
Excuse me, Mike. Samsa in at quarterback. I formation for the Wolverines. Campolo's back in there. Flip to Campolo. Comes across the 20. Stop just before the 20. 30, excuse me.
Campolo brought down there by number 67, Brian Best.
Brian Estoshin coming in to the play. 2nd and 8. Might be looking for a pass. Lowry over on the slot.
And I think it's going to be legal motion by the Wolverines in the backfield.
Ball might have been fumbled there, I'm not sure. Wolverines still have it nevertheless. Legal motion on the Wolverines.
We have time is ticking, 7:56 left here in the third quarter. Score is Woodland Hills 21, Ballou Knights from Washington, D.C. 0. 2nd down and 14 for the Wolverines.
It's like a passing play. Kevin Hartsfeld is over on the side. Quarterback keeper, Joe Sampson picks it up the side, flips off to number 10, Ken Kuchar.
The option play there.
Kuchar playing slot back.
Snaps a fake, kept the ball, and then pitched out to Ken Kuchar, able to pick up a few yards to make it 3rd down and 8. Instant replay here. That's Samsa with the ball. Flips off to Kuchar. And he's finally brought down by number 9, Emmanuel Lotson.
Once again, Samsa, doesn't have much pressure back there in the pocket. Polo at the top of the eye. Samsa back to pass. Looking for his man. Bounce pass. Not quite there. A little bit short. Incompletion. The Willie Lowry, intended receiver, number 2.
Woodley Lowry has been doing a fine job all game of getting open. And that play stopped the clock with 7:30 left in the third quarter. Brings up a 4th down situation for the Wolverines with 7 yards to go.
As always, Samsa still having a lot of time to get off his passes. Just missed the mark on that last one. Good flip to Mike Campolo. Comes across. Beautiful cut. Beautiful cut. Mike Campolo coming across, gain of 15 on what was almost a broken play. Almost perfect execution for the Wolverines, but the talents of Mike Campolo come through once again, making his debut in a Wolverine uniform.
Okay, we're going to have a replay of this here. You'll see Joe Samsa go back here. There's a little trouble with the handoff there. Michael Campolo was able to come back for it, stretch for that ball, find some holes, and go up for a nice run there to give the Wolverines a first down. And the Wolverines are on the march again.
Samsa backflip to Campolo once again, comes across the 5, the 4, brought down. Stopped it around the 10-yard line.
So in the first half, we saw most of the running by Steve Benton and Aaron Beatty. A little bit of running by Joe Samsa also. And now this whole third quarter here has been all Michael Campolo. And the Wolverines have had the ball all through the third quarter as we have 6:24 left here.
Polo playing tailback. A little bit of motion, it looks like. Touchdown. I believe that's number 94, Terrell Green, playing in the tight end position. Caught us off guard. He's on the defensive line most of the time.
And that was one thing that Coach Novak said, that Terrell Green would be playing both ways this year, and he was very confident that Terrell could play both ways on defense and offense, and Terrell would be in there as a tight end. And Terrell showing that in this game in the first quarter that he can do very well as he did on defense, and then he came in for the offensive play there and scored a touchdown for the Wolverines, 27-0.
Fine play call. Bobbled.
So the extra point attempt was unable to be made there. Last time also we had some trouble with the snap.
I made that point earlier in the season. Most people don't think of it as being a big part of the game, but conversions, maybe not in this game with a 27-0 lead, but conversions can really make or break you during the season. That's something they have to work on. They're not getting those snaps off. As I was saying earlier, Mike, that was a fine play call because they weren't throwing to their tight end previously. They put him in there, caught him off guard, and he was wide open. No one within 5 miles.
And that drive for a touchdown was covered 35 yards for the Wolverines, and it's basically been all Wolverines all through the whole game, especially this third quarter. And number 42 for the Ballou Knights, Leonard Johnson III, is still on crutches. His ankle is wrapped in ice.
Here's the kick. It's a line drive off to the side. Looks like a good one. Picked up. Coming across the 10, laterally across the field. The 15 hit before the 20-yard line. Gang pile up by the Wolverines. Really hitting hard. Special teams play has been adequate, to say the least.
So Moses Ware and Derek Bellamy. Moses brought the ball up there, tried to give him a block, but the Wolverine defense brought him down early. We have 6:3 remaining in the third quarter. The score is the Woodland Hills Wolverines 27 and Ballou Knights from Washington, D.C. 0.
Wolverines not allowing the Ballou Knights to obtain good field position to start out with, which has certainly adversely affected their game. The 53-yard kick.
Bob Brown has definitely been having a very good game today in his kicks. He averaging somewhere in the 50s for all of his kicks. His longest one so far has been 63 yards.
Hands off around the side. Still nothing doing over on that side. Knights have been trying to sweep over to that strong side, but it's to no avail. Wolverine defense has really been stuffing them. We'd like to remind you, after the game, we'll have Mike Thomas with us, and he'll be discussing the game with me a little bit. the post-game show. So you want to stay tuned for that. There's the Wolverine bench. Very large team this year. We have well over 100 players on our roster. Back to live action. Dozier back to pass. Deep. This will be intercepted by number 40. Oh! Spoke too soon. Dropped by Bautiste Manuel. Number 47. Had it all to himself. Throwing into double coverage once again. I thought that was a certainty.
And that's Bautiste there. Bautiste is known to many people also as Sean Manuel. And he was wide open there. You'll see on the replay here. Poor pass. Well over the head of his man.
That time, that offensive line did well that time. Jamal Webster was the closest man to the quarterback, Mark Dozier. Wolverine in that 4-3 defense. Dozier back to pass once again. He's looking deep, but he's having trouble. Gets out of the pocket and finds some running room across the 30-yard line. Stopped there by a host of Wolverine players. Smart decision not to pass that time. Didn't have his men open.
Being chased there by Matt Sauer on the play, and he was finally brought down by Michael Picar. Replay here. Jamal Webster putting pressure on there. Comes around the side, Matt Sauer, and then finally brought down by Michael Picar.
4:22 left in the third quarter. Wolverines leading 27-0. Back in the I formation on the multiple offense. Fumble. Looks as if the Wolverines have recovered.
And that was number 35 for the Ballou Knights.
Anthony Moore, tailback, 5'4", 127 pounds. I believe that was Bob Brown who recovered the ball. Wolverines now have the ball at the 28-yard line of Ballou.
And there's a first view of the Woodland Hills Wolverine mascot. That is Daniel Hinkle. In our first year, it was Mark Gora was the mascot. Last year, Dennis Generosky was the mascot, and now Daniel Hinkle in the third year of the Woodland Hills season.
And now Wolverines have changed their offense, and mainly the JV offense is coming in now. Seeing that they're well in the lead, allowing the other players to get a chance. The replay will be at 5 o'clock tonight and 7 o'clock on Monday, if you'd like to see this game. We've got American Cablevision, Channel 33. We hope to be on TCI eventually.
Okay, we have a fairly good crowd here today. This is only an exhibition game, and this will not count towards the playoff berth. And we're expecting many more good crowds to come in. Woodland Hills are rated very high by the newspapers in the Pittsburgh area. So I expect the Wolverena to be getting very filled for these regular season games coming up next week against Plum. And then Penn Hills after that, both home games.
Rich Smith back in at quarterback. Hands off to Campolo again. He keeps on his feet. Brought down at approximately the 25-yard line. Campolo doesn't have the size of an Aaron Beatty or Wayne Anderson. He certainly has the strength. Aaron Beatty exiting now. Brings in the I formation again, in motion. Stop. New player in for the Wolverines, number 31, Montagne Nicholson.
And also Jim Jackson, number 59, is doing the centering now for the Wolverines.
We haven't even seen all of the running backs for the Wolverines.
It's going to be a key.
It's true. It's
to
not
winning.
many times that play heads up ball. That's what counts. Smith back again. Flips to Campolo, cuts across the side, beats a few tacklers. He's going around the side for a touchdown. Try to stop him, folks. Mike Campolo has arrived.
And Michael Campolo is showing in his running style if he can be, once he gets a hole, he's able to sidestep, and when he gets an open, he's just too fast to catch. The view of the crowd there.
Faint memories of Craig Thomas entering my mind now.
The replay coming up. Campolo out of DI formation. Gets the ball, sides up the tackle, and he's all open field there. No one to touch him. 2:56 left in the third quarter.
Extra point try, and it looks as if this one is good. Bob Brown.
So Lafferty holding on that play.
Brown putting one through. That'll make the score 34-0.
And once again, that took 3 plays for the Wolverines, 48 yards to score that touchdown. 3 touchdowns scored in the third quarter here for the Wolverines. Score is 34-0. Woodland Hills is winning.
Well, Mike, I wonder if the last game that the Wolverines played before this, last regular season game at least, 41-0, they were really romped, and I'm wondering if that bitter taste is still in their mouth. Jim Davis in on the special teams now. Jim Davis, Aaron Beatty. Special teams play can't be neglected. That's a very pivotal part of every game. Brown for the kick. It's another fine kick. Picked up at around the 20-yard line, taken off the side around the 25, and he's hit hard, knocked down at the 15-yard line. So that's
That was number 4, Derek Bellamy. Got hit hard in the backfield there.
That was a 45-yard kick, so another fine kick by Bob Brown. Playing an all-around good game at every position. Jim Davis at free safety now. Dozier back, hit hard, but he gets the ball off. Comes around to around the 20-yard line, excuse me.
That was Anthony Moore there who took the pitch out. He was stopped by Matt Sauer.
Matt Sowers had a few tackles today.
Michael Picar also in on that tackle.
Dan Parker and Mike Picar will be fighting for that left outside linebacker position this year.
And we go under 2 minutes in the third quarter. 2nd down and 6 for Ballou Knights.
Mark Dozier. Dropping back, and he is going to be, no, he gets out of the pocket, finds his way out. Good running by Mark Dozier, but he's hit a few yards beyond the line of scrimmage. Looked like he was going to be sacked there. Wolverine's defensive line has played well today, but they haven't gotten that much penetration into the quarterback at least.
And that was number 61, Buck Brown, who brought quarterback down to the turf. Buck will be seeing a lot of play this year also as a linebacker.
This is his first year starting.
Buck got to see a lot of action last year also.
Sean Manuel playing defensive end now. Mark Dozier is back for the pass, rolls out to the side, into the dirt. Throwing into double and triple coverage once again.
In the first half of play, Wolverines were able to
blocked. Going off to the side, that play stands. That won't be too far of a punt. The 26, Rob Simcoe, also in there in the backfield, getting ready to accept the punt. However, it didn't quite reach it there.
Bob Brown got in there, able to knock that ball out. And the Wolverines start with excellent field position once again on the 20-yard line.
I don't believe that punt went more than 9 or 10 yards. Maybe it was deflected. Rich Smith back in the I formation. Ben Motley in motion. Ball's handed off to number 31, Monte Nicholson, who refuses to go down. Monte Nicholson getting his first chance this season. Excuse me, last season he didn't get much playing time. He's getting his first chance.
Monte gained about 5 yards on that.
Mark,
Showed a lot of strength there as he powered his way for those 5 yards.
Mark, as he likes to be called, will be playing fullback, I would imagine, for the times that he's in.
And that ends the third quarter of play. The score is Woodland Hills Wolverines 34, Ballou Knights from Washington, D.C. 0. Second down and 6 to go for the Woodland Hills Wolverines.
Well, like many people say, the teams in Western Pennsylvania, and football in general in Western Pennsylvania, is pretty much the cream of the crop of the nation. From the evidence we're showing here, is this any indication of this, Mike?
I'd have to say so. And the Quad A East is very powerful this year, and all the coaches, along with Coach Novak and the coaches from the other leagues, have been saying that it's really going to be hard to tell who's going to go the whole way this year. It won't be.
I would imagine that would be WTAE.
Yes, it is, Barry.
Rich Smith hands off to number 32, Ben Motley, comes across down to the 5-yard line, breaking holes all over the place.
The interview with WTAE is just concluded. It was right along the 20-yard line with the football team as the backdrop.
Wolverine cheerleaders. I think it has to be noted that a lot of people work hard at these games. It's not just the football players. You have the bands and the cheerleaders, many people involved. Our TV crew, which has done a fine job today for our first game. Many new people coming in. We'd like to thank them. There's no gain there. Trapped straight up the middle.
Robert Washington, number 75, and number 70, Raheem Jones, were the big men on that play to force no gain. Second down and 7. A yard was lost on that play.
Another fact that may be contributing to this game is that many of the players, they also have a small squad here today. Many of the players play both defense and offense, and imagine they'd be getting tired. 19 in all. Good pitch back to number 32, Ben Motley, touchdown.
Rich Smith did a nice job there as the pressure was put on by number 57 from Ballou. Rich was able to pitch the ball out. Ben Motley, easy touchdown run.
Rich Smith is definitely a heads-up football player. Ben Motley scoring probably what's his first touchdown in a varsity game. I'm not aware of how many times he played last year.
View of the Woodland Hills line, you had number 90 there. Nick Tavares, this is his first year playing for Woodland Hills.
He'll be playing tight end, so Perkins come back, and the extra point is good. Rich Smith, very enthusiastic as he comes off the field. Doing a fine job here.
So we have 10:44 left in this game, and the Wolverines are winning 41-0.
Mike, the Wolverine band is in full swing now, as it is 41-0.
I'd like to point out, too, since Ballou came all the way from Washington, D.C., they were unable to bring their cheerleaders.
Not have their full squad here. There are 86 people on our roster, and there are by no means 86 people in a Ballou uniform.
As I believe Ballou was able to bring 45 of their players to today's game.
Mike had the opportunity, being in student council, he's actually the president of the student council at Woodland Hills. He had the opportunity to escort them whenever they visited downtown Pittsburgh. There's the kickoff coming up across the 20-yard line, the 25, and he stopped at the 30-yard line. That was number 25. Moses Ware. Nice P-car on the tackle. Wolverine defense will take form once again.
I'd like to say, Barry, also Michael Thomas and I both escorted Ballou yesterday with Student Council, and Michael is the senior vice president, and he'll be doing the after-game show, as you mentioned early, along with you.
Oh, we're looking forward to that. We'll introduce Mike to our audience. Nothing doing again. Gets around to the 35-yard line, running off to the side. Looks to be a broken play. Mark Dozier. One would imagine that Roy Holbrook would be unable to play due to injury. Even now, it seems that he's favoring one leg more than the other.
Jason Grew and Aaron Beatty, excuse me, Barry, were in on that tackle.
Some problems with that right leg. Been limping throughout the course of the game. No doubt that's been hurting their offense. Picard sets up again in the I formation. It's a double slot. No more I. Back into the double slot. He has number 44 opened on the side if he can get to him. But he completes the pass at the 45-yard line to number 82, who is Nathaniel Smith. Now, watch number 44, the fullback, Adrian Nash, on this replay whenever we get this up on the screen. Here it is. Number 44 was opened on the top right side of the screen, but he chose to go to number 82, Nathaniel Smith, for a fine catch. Dozier setting up again.
Defensive line for Woodland Hills is Clancy Hempfield, along with Nick Safaris, John Ballard, and John Jessel.
Sparse playing defense and offense. And it is a long, long pass. It's up for grabs, bounces, and nothing doing.
That was Jim Davis and Bottice Manuel in there. Good pass protection. Pass was intended for number 25, Moses Ware, and Anthony Morita, number 35.
And here's the replay again. Watch, the players are not getting open. Defensive backs for the Wolverines, like Jim Davis back there, doing a fine job. Not open whatsoever. 2-on-2 with the third man coming. Nice hole up the sides. Number 44, that is Adrian Nash, fullback. 5'8", 186 senior. Gained about 5 on the play.
Mike Whalen and PJ Marasco were in on that tackle.
PJ getting a chance to play now. Okay. Mark Dozier back. Looking for the pass. He has his man open. Having problems, throws it up. Tipped a few times, but falls to the ground. That offensive line has got to do a better job protecting him. A lot of pressure by the Wolverine defense, but nonetheless, he did get the pass off.
All right, we have 7:43 left in the game. Woodland Hills is winning 41-0. Replay coming up on your screen.
Dozier appears to have a good arm. He's just not having any time to set himself up. Now we're going to go for the punt here again. Short snap. Line drive kick. Number 43.
Joe Samsa
Joe
takes it up
Samsa,
across the 40-yard line.
quarterback slash safety, picks up the ball and takes it for about 15, 20 yards, proving that he can run.
The line drive punt. Joe was right there for it.
The way it's looking right now, Mike, I don't know about your opinion, but I think that Rich Smith has the edge here as far as today's gone. Sampson's doing a fine job on safety, but I'd pick Rich Smith for the starter.
No, it's pretty early to tell yet, Barry. Both players did a fine job today, and we'll just have to see what Coach Novak's prediction here will be for next game against Plum.
You're seeing us up in the far right-hand corner of the press box. A little bit tough over on this side because there's the wooden panes and we can't see one end zone, but we make do. Sean Nolan on director today, doing a fine job. First time. John Sander is in at quarterback, with Monte Nicholson in the backfield. Hands off to Monte, gets around the side, still up on his feet. Mark gets to the 32-yard line. Mark is another big running back for the Wolverines here.
Monte did a nice job there. Met at the line of scrimmage by a host of players. He's able to shake off the tackle, get about a 7-yard gain on the play.
John Sander, I'd like to see him pass. I can remember one pass last year. Opening play of Gateway, the Gateway game last year. He has a great arm. Hands off to Monte once again, who has an opening, cuts across the 10, the 5. Stops, he's still going. It's a touchdown for the Wolverines. Mark Nicholson. And yes, add another fine running back to the list.
Monte Nicholson doing a fine job there. If we can get an instant replay here. Monte picks his hole wisely there. Comes up, he's going to get into some trouble here with some tacklers, but he uses speed and strength, able to get by. March right in there for a touchdown. Monte Nicholson, fine running job there.
Is not a little person, but he has speed. Rich Smith holding for Bob Brown, who's had a fine game. And it's good. Wolverines are converting.
Wolverines are, right now it's 48-0 with 6:28 left in the fourth quarter of play. Woodland Hills versus Ballou Knights. Wolverines right now have made more extra point attempts than they have missed. They're doing good in that respect. and the whole team is working very well. Next week, the home game will be against Plum, and the week following that is also home, and that will be against Penn Hills.
I believe the spread was 40 points for the Wolverines in the papers. Wolverines on the kickoff. There's no doubt this blue team is demoralized now, but I'm sure they're also tired. Most of their players playing both ways.
Derek
Fairly-
Bellamy.
Fairly deep kick. Come across the 17. Near the 30-yard line, but he winds up getting pushed back. Wolverines, special teams, playing well.
As Derek Bellamy tried to stretch that into the play, but he was just met by too many blue shirts of the Wolverines.
Any more new players on that Wolverine defense now getting their shot, but the game obviously out of hand now.
.546 left in the game. 48-0, Woodland Hills is winning.
Mark Dozier still in at quarterback. Dozier hands off. Nothing doing. Stopped short of the 30-yard line. Sabrina Wells is in the game right now.
It's on the sideline for the Ballou Knights, number 17, the quarterback. Ray Holbrook, known as Doug Williams to his friend, has ice around his knee and limping a little bit.
Doug Williams, of course, the Washington Redskins quarterback, won the Super Bowl a couple years back.
So hopefully Roy will be all right for his next game next week in their home field.
Dozier looks back to pass, can't find anyone, throws into, no, he doesn't throw, holds on to the ball. Dropped for a loss. Not too much action in the stands as the action on the field is a little bit lopsided today, to say the least. 48-0 Wolverines. Mark Dozier will set up again on 3rd and 15. One would imagine that'd be a passing play.
View of the Woodland Hills band there as we go back to the live action.
Dozier looks like a trap. Incomplete.
Well, the Wolverines have proved one thing here. They look like they're ready for a hot season. Offensive line has done an excellent job today. The running backs, Michael Campola, Joe Sampson, Steve Benton, Aaron Beatty.
One thing that we must caution, Plum is our next game, which is the first regular season game. Plum finished 1-10 last year, I believe. They did win their game last night, but one would imagine that they're not going to be quite ready this season, still starting out pretty much new. And we don't want the Wolverines to get too overconfident after the first couple games, because after that it's tough all the way. On the kick, the punt, takes across the 50, the 40, the 35, the 30, the 20, the 15. Keeps going all the way. Touchdown.
And that was Rob Simcoe, number 26. Replay coming up.
Takes it all the way across the sidelines, virtually untouched.
Rob
Once again, this
Simcoe
is not the starting team. It's in there now.
last year was Rob Simcoe's first year at Woodland Hills, and this year is his first year to play football for the Wolverines. And that was his first touchdown, a beautiful run back. And that takes the score to 54-0 with 2:54 left. 33-yard punt. Rob Simcoe was able to bring it back for a touchdown.
Had another
Nice
spectacular play for a Wolverine running back.
The extra play, Rob picks it up off the bounce, crosses the 50, just goes straight down. During the replay there, the Woodland Hills Wolverines kicked the extra point, and that makes the score 55-0. Bob Brown was responsible for putting the ball through the uprights, and that stops the clock with 2:33 left in the game.
Majorettes are certainly excited about this game, and with good reason. It is 55-0.
So far, this is the highest scoring game in the WPIAL so far this year. 55-0.
Fans are starting to pour out of the Wolvarena. No doubt satisfied with the Wolverines' win. Apparent win.
Well, one thing I'd like to take time here, Barry, to wish the Ballou Knights a very successful season as they go back to Washington, D.C. tonight. I was able to talk with many of their players, and they were all a lot of nice people, and I really enjoyed being able to meet with them like that. The coach, Frank Young, was a nice man, and I really had a nice time with him, and I hope they have a very successful season.
We'll certainly be interested to hear how they do in their own league, so that we can maybe have some kind of comparison as to at least 2 geographical areas. Mark Dozier still in at quarterback. Hands off, cuffs around the side, picks up a few, but he's knocked down by a host of Wolverine players.
Number 26 for the Wolverines, Rob Simcoe was in on that tackle first.
Rob Simcoe also proving that he can play both sides of the game. The ball on the 35-yard line.
And we go under 1 minute to play in the Wolverines' first preseason game. As we said earlier, we'll be hosting Plum and then Penn Hills in 2 weeks, all home games.
Dozier back to pass. He has number 25 open. Not anymore. Way deep. Too far over everybody's head. I think Dozier's problem is he's not spotting his receivers quite fast enough. He has the arm and he seems to have the speed to get out of the pocket. He's getting himself some time now, but he's not quite hitting money. Very much demoralized bench. Ballou Knights, understandably, when one looks at the scoreboard.
It's 19 seconds remaining in this game. I'd like to have you stay tuned here for Michael Thomas and his post-game show coming up.
The Hail Mary gone deep. It's completed into double coverage. Trying to call timeout, number 25, Moses Ware. They're trying to get in for a score.
Moses did a nice job there, number 26 for the Wolverines, along with number 45, Rob Simcoe and Neil Hoover, putting the pressure on there. But Moses, as he always does, goes into the air, air Mo as he is known, pulls that ball down.
That is not a pass. It's from an experienced quarterback. It's a fine quarterback. I'd be very interested to see them play some other games against teams in their own conference. 4 seconds remaining. Of course, the Ballou Knights will be trying to get off a play here. Try to put it in the end zone.
Reviewing our stats, for the second half here, the Ballou Knights have 2 passes for 47 yards.
Bulk of that coming on the last play.
There are 9 seconds remaining in the game. Moses Ware was able to call timeout after he made that catch.
Wolverine cheerleaders are fired up, very much so. Hope you enjoyed the halftime show. They did a fine job this year once again.
As I mentioned earlier, the next 2 games will be here at the Wolvarena, so I hope you can come down and cheer on the Wolverines. It looks like they're going to have a very promising season.
We're
Offense and defense and all the teams as well doing an excellent job all through this game.
excuse me, Mike, we're hoping for 10,000 plus for those games and the rest through the season. He's been sacked, intentional grounding if there would have been a penalty. 2 seconds left in the game. 2 seconds left. That should wind out the game.
See number 45, Neil Hoover, come in very quickly and bring him down to the turf. Last year, Chad Hoover, Neil's brother, played for the Wolverines. And now Neil is here to help out the Wolverines.
Once again, remind you to stay tuned. I'll be talking with the other Mike. It's going to be a little bit confusing as the season goes by, but that is Mike Thomas. And he'll be giving his thoughts on the game.
With 2 seconds left to go, the score is Woodland Hills 55, Ballou Knights 0.
Nonetheless, despite the score, it was certainly a good experience for these Blue players to come all the way up here and get a look at Western Pennsylvania football. Hope that we'd make a tradition out of this. Maybe we travel one year and someone else comes up here to maybe make the expenses a little bit more even.
See many of the fans going past the buses, and a shot of the famous WH that is painted into the bleachers of the Wolverena.
Very much exposed now. And the final play of this first game. Wolverine fans anxious for it to be over to celebrate their first victory of the 1989 season. Hail Mary pass. This might be a touchdown. No, it's blocked at the last second in the corner. The Wolverines have a shutout, 55-0.
And that was number 22, Michael Siopa, who was in on that block.
Mike Siopa coming in at the last second to bat a perfectly thrown pass away.
Michael Siopa wears the same number that his brother TJ Siopa wore last year, and that number is 22.
This is an excellent pass, but a better deflection. That was going right into the arms of number 26 of the Knights, John Bennett.
I would just like to say best of luck to the Blue team, and I'm looking forward to a very good season with the Wolverines, and I'm going to turn the microphone over to Michael Thomas now.
We'd certainly like to thank the Ballou team from coming up from Washington, D.C. to give us a nice game here. Got to see a lot from the Wolverines, got to see a lot from both teams, and now I would like to announce Mike Thomas.
Claude.
Okay, Mike, I have a few questions for you here. Maybe we can discuss the game a little bit. What's your interpretation of the performance of the Wolverines today?
Well, I was very impressed. The offense is very diversified. Running the ball for all the time, receiving the touchdown pass to Charles Green, who's basically a defensive tackle. And they also adjusted very well. I noticed that the new defense changed quite several times. And the offense was able to pick it up. And I was very impressed with the offensive back, Aaron Beatty. Aaron Beatty, he's working very well. Defensively, they were very aggressive and they were very under control. You saw how hard they were hitting. They were very impressive.
Yeah, what's the difference between this year and last year? What are some of the things you saw?
Basically, I would say together. This team has been together for 3 years. They've been together for 3 years and have worked well together for 3 years. All right, basically, the most important thing I feel that happened today was togetherness. This team has been together for 3 years and have worked together since their sophomore year. And another thing was last year, I noticed that ever since the USA Today had ranked the Wolverines 7th in the nation, the year seemed to have gone downhill. But this year, the press gave us a lot of good press, but this did not go to the team's head. They still came out and played a hard, aggressive football game. And another thing is experience. A lot of these players have been starting since their sophomore year. For instance, Joe Samsa and Wayne Anderson, who didn't play today. And also, focus. They really kept their mind on the game today. Usually, whenever a football team plays, they often look towards the end of the season, maybe even the championship. But this time, they kept their mind on the game today, which was to play at Ballou High School.
Okay, what do you think was the major key to their success?
I think the major key to their success was that the offense and defense worked well together. Last year, a lot of times, the offense would go in for only about 4 plays, and the defense really wouldn't get a good break and will come out tired, and they couldn't play at their best performance when they were tired. This year, the offense played well and the defense played well, and they gave each other a nice rest. And as you saw, a lot of players that were sophomores or juniors, they got to play also, and that even builds the future, so they gain experience.
Okay, what do you think is in store for the Wolverines the rest of the season?
Well, the rest of the season will really be tough, but I feel that if they keep their minds on the game that they're playing at that time, they'll be really successful. You can't really look to the future too much. You have to worry about the game that you're playing today. And I think Coach Novak knows that, and that's what he's trying to teach into his players. And I think that's what they really learned. And if they continue to do that, they'll have a very successful season.
Okay, well done, Mike, and we'll see you next week in Plum. Once again, the final score, Woodland Hills 55, the Ballou Knights nothing. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Once again, we have the replay of that final touchdown by number 26, Rob Simcoe. Once again, 55-0 is the final score, and we'll see you next week in Plum.